Welcome to the Music Hacks Network. I am your host, Chris Bailey. For those persons who are joining us for the first time on this platform, let me welcome all the persons who are joining us live on YouTube and also the persons who are here with us on Zoom. Tonight we have Levoy Paul.
Yeah,
He
good
is
night, good night.
currently the guitarist for Jermaine Edwards. At this time, let's take Levoy Paul. Levoy, what's up, bro?
I'm here, good night, everybody. It's an honor
It's
to be
great.
here.
Yes, it's great to have you on the Music Hacks Network.
Pleasure, it's a pleasure.
You are one of the guitarists currently in Jamaica that I always look forward to see you on a performance stage at
Okay.
some of these great concerts.
Oh, that's great, man. Thanks.
Definitely. All right, so Levoy, I'm sure that there are persons here who are not accustomed to you. So I'm going to ask you just to give a brief introduction of yourself.
All right. Wow. All right, cool. My name is Levoy Paul. Um, I also go by Lev Paul, so if you say Lev Paul anywhere, that's me. I'm from the beautiful parish of Portland, born and raised. So that's where I grew up. I went to the Titchfield High School, where well that's where my musical talents basically were nourished or started to develop. So um, it was a great experience there. I started out singing, so I was singing on the choir, and then I think about probably my third year, probably by grade 9. Um, you probably people probably know Bindi or Brandon. People call him Bindi, but you know him as Brandon from back in the days. Brandon Benjamin. One day I see the man play the guitar, and I say, "Yo, no man, how bad I need to learn the guitar." So I say, "Yo, may I learn that instrument?" There. So remember them time there. I throw a little partner them time there, and you buy yourself one little acoustic guitar, one of the little nylon string, the classical guitar, and start teach myself, and as them say, the rest is history. So the rest is history. So, but to be honest with you, I don't think at that point in learning how to play the guitar, I ever thought about um, you know, the places that music would have taken me, if you get what I mean. It has been a great experience, and more time I look back at your beginnings, and you said, John Star, remember the days when me used to play the major scale on one string, and but God is good.
All right, cool. So is the guitar the only instrument that you have pursued so far?
um, all right. So back in my high school days, me used to try one little thing with the drums, but
Try.
yeah, I used to try a little thing with the drums.
All the persons who said they try an instrument, they are normally great at it.
No, I mean, no, sir. No. Not at all. But I mean, we can do like a thing as in we can hold a beat and everything that way. You know, um, I think after I started committing more to the guitar, I kind of like, just zoning on the guitar because them say, Jack of all trades and master of none. So I started to, basically commit more to playing guitars.
Okay, who are some of the major influences over the years?
Wow. All right. As a young guitarist, let me talk about my Jamaican influences first. I can say Chris Campbell was a huge one. Um, Monty, talk about Ken Roy, Mullings, talk about Ellie B. Yeah, those people who I really look up to. And internationally, you talk about Butcher Govan. Um, really, I've been really listening to a lot of Mark Lettieri, people like Kerry, Too Smooth, um, Jarius Mosey, all of those people I used to listen a lot of them. Jabari. So a whole heap of influences. I mean, it would be a long list, but I can say those would be the main influences. Um, yeah,
All
learn a
right.
little bit of everything.
Yes. Would you say you sound like any of them?
No, 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 no. I'd say I have my own soul. That's what I would say.
And how would you describe that sound to us?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. I would say is a crossover between more contemporary with a little alternative, with a little um no, I don't know, like a blues kind of feel, kind of a vibe like that.
Okay, cool.
Hmm.
All right. So, would you like to share with us a few of the things that you have worked on over the years to sort of sound this way?
For one, I listen a lot. Um, so I can say that a whole lot of my techniques come from a lot of listening to a lot of things. I mean, I have a gospel background, so I listen to a lot of gospel music. Um, I used to listen to a lot of reggae music. I used to listen to a whole heap of BB King. So I think over time, what has happened is like I've like put all of these sounds into one. So you can't say per se that. I mean, if you hear me play, you're gonna know say that is Levoy. So
Okay,
yeah, um, yeah, I'd say I have my song.
definitely. All right. Levoy,
Mhm.
what is your creative process like?
Wow, creative process. Hmm, my creative process. All right. So the main thing is I have some knowledge of singing. So a lot of the things I do, I think how it would sound melodically, would it incline, because remember 90% of the people who we're playing for aren't as musically inclined as us musicians. So when we can play the whole heap of fast things, bada, 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 yeah. I mean, people are hear it and they might say, "Oh, that's nice," but when you listen there, you're feeling soul. Um, you're listening to a melody, something that they can hear and it stick with them, something melodical. So my creative process comes from just thinking melodically. I mean, singing coming from a vocal perspective, with a little my feel, my uniqueness. So whenever I'm creating, I always try to first think about what is it that I'm trying to achieve from this thing that I'm working on or what I'm creating. What emotion am I trying to bring out, or how can I make this music better, with my sound or my melody and my tone. Yeah.
All right, Levoy, who are some of the persons that you have worked with, both locally and internationally?
Um. Well, yeah. I would say Kevin Downsell, Rhoda Isabella, uh, Randall Positive. Worked with uh, I believe Jonathan Nelson. Jonathan Nelson. Who else? You have this person named Brandon Reed. Um, wow. Chevelle Franklin. Um, wow. What heap of people? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
mean, the list goes on, but yeah, those are the ones from the top of my head.
okay, cool.
And of course, Jermaine Edwards, as you mentioned before.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you have toured many places with these artists, right?
Um, I've been a couple places. Been an interesting time, but yeah, it's been, a lot of people probably know this, but um I only start when going on the road like probably about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But I've been to a couple places, give thanks.
All right. So where is your most favorite place to be
When
on tour?
on tour, wow, I really enjoyed. Uh, oh, I think I enjoyed Texas. Texas was fun. When we went to the US and we were in Texas for about 2 weeks, that was a good experience. Just the whole camaraderie and the things that were available to us to do. So yeah, Texas was fun. Canada was fun. Um, yeah, Texas would be on the list, on the top of the list, definitely.
All right, cool. All right. In preparation for a gig or for a tour, how do you prepare yourself for any of these ventures?
Right, great. I mean, if the music is new to me, um, the first thing I try to do before I even take out the guitar is I try to listen to the music a lot because for me, I learn chiefly through listening. I mean, once I listen to something probably once or twice, I can regurgitate it. So I try to listen to it a lot. So by probably a week um before rehearsals would start, I'd start going through it. But by then I would already know what I'm going to play because again, remember, I've been listening to it for a while, so it's easy to replicate to some sense, or in some sense, what it is that I've been listening for uh, a week or 4 days, or so. I play that repetitively, and yeah, I mean, I'm the type of person where once I know the key of the song, after listening to the song for a period of time, I can just go back and play it just once I know which key the song is in, I can replicate it even without practicing it. So yeah, listen, then practice. That's it.
Okay, cool. All right. Have you ever done any collaboration with anyone before? Any known artists or instrumentalists?
Um, collaboration. Yeah, no, no, none that I can remember. No, no. Other than working on numerous tracks, I've not done any collaborations. No, other than probably on a one and two track with Catalyst back in the days. I probably sing a little vocals, but other than that, no, nothing guitar wise yet.
All right. If you should do a guitar collab with any one of those persons that is highly influential to you, who would
Wow,
that person be?
wow, 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 wow. Wow. Who would that be? Honestly, I'd probably work with Mark Lettieri. Yeah,
Why
man,
is that?
Mark Lettieri. All right. The thing is, I think Mark Lettieri has a similar style to mine in because he's very melodic and percussive. So a lot of the things that Lettieri plays is like, you can sit down and you can sing it and say, yeah. And then you have a moment so you can just wow you with something and say, what do you think about this? So yeah, definitely Mark Lettieri. It would be so much to learn. I'm not sure how much I could offer, but I'll try my best.
I'm sure you'll do an awesome job. Definitely, Levoy. Don't try to be too modest, man.
Uh,
All right. I know this pandemic has affected, well, musicians all across the entire globe.
mhm.
How are you dealing with all the challenges of this pandemic?
Wow, I mean, that's a very good question. I mean, especially like 2020 was supposed to be a great year. in terms of being on the road and so on. So um it has been hard. It has been, well, hard is really an understatement. It has been very difficult. But because back before the pandemic, you probably would have a show like every weekend or every 2 weeks or you're on the road. But with this now, it's basically a one-off gig that comes up our church, because as I play at church. So other than that, that's been rough. Trust me. But what I try to do is I try to be thankful for the few times that I get um to play, in any sense. Like a one gig come up and I say, Jesus, thank you God. I'm say, yeah, I'll go and do the best. But yeah, we don't get the opportunity to share with as many musicians as you'd like to, because working with a lot of people, different styles, and you learn so many different things. But that's been a huge deterrent. Um, but we still try to push on. We still try to be creative. Record our own things when possible. Um, I mean, recording is still going on, so I've been doing a lot of recording during the whole pandemic, or the coronavirus, as people say, for the past year. But yeah, um,
All
it's
right.
hard, but we're hanging on.
Cool. I'm happy you mentioned that you are currently recording. Are you recording for yourself or with others?
I would say a little of both. I mean, I'm working on a few things that I'm planning to release soon. With perfect timing. But I have some ideas that I think I want to get out, and I've been doing some recording on a couple songs. Yeah, so look out for those things when them come, everybody.
All right. Just two more questions before I let you into your presentation. All right. Young guitarists. I'm sure there might be a few in the Zoom chat as well as in the YouTube community. What would you say to some of the young guitarists who are emerging in the music industry?
Wow. All right. I mean, I think I'll cover some of the things in my presentation soon. But other than that, I would say try to know your instrument, try to love your instrument. Try to spend time with the instruments, because there are going to come times when you can't spend as much time with the instrument as you'd want to. But um try to listen a lot of people, but at the same time try to come up with your own sound and your own feel. Because I mean, while it would be nice to hear somebody compliment you and say, yo, you sound so much like Kerry Marshall. But at the same time, what differentiates you from that sound. So work on your own sound. Work on your own tone. I mean, as a guitarist, tones are very important. Tones are very important. We can't stress that enough. Guitar tones, vital. So work on your tones, work on your sound, work on your feel. And I mean, if it's a case where you're trying to play the fast stuff, I mean, take it one step at a time, break it down, learn pieces until you can put it together. Because I mean, being a musician in general, especially a guitarist, is a whole heap of muscle memory. So the more you play the same thing or things close to that, it becomes easy. I mean, I can say personally, there are times when I play some things I'm say, I never used to could have played that. It's easy to me now, but because after practicing and playing it over and over, it becomes easier. So yeah, own sound, guitar tone, get your own feel. That's very important. So yeah, that would be my encouragement to young guitarists out there.
Levoy, how can fans reach to you on social media?
All right. So on Instagram, I'm Lev_Paul. So I don't have a YouTube well, I don't have an active YouTube page yet. Currently doing some work on that. So Instagram is where it's at. And once you follow me at Instagram, as soon as anything comes out on the YouTube, you'll be the first to know.
All right, Levoy, what's the topic that you have prepared for us tonight?
So I've been led to look at, the art of improvisation. Because as musicians, we must improvise at some point in time. Um, you know, so yeah, that's what I've chosen to look at, the art of improvisation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and subscribers on the YouTube channel and all those who are on Zoom at this time, mine is a pleasure to present to you Mr. Levoy Paul.
As I was saying, tonight we'll be looking at the art of improvisation. And I mean, this is something that's it applies to everybody, whether you play the keys or you play a string instrument or um a brass instrument or wind instrument, any of those things. At some point, improvisation. And before we even look at it, the first thing we need to know is understand what improvisation is. And I did some looking, I did some research, and I found that well, this is basically me summarizing what I found. Um, so improvisation is the creative activity of musical composition. So from that in itself, you realize two key, well, one key thing. It says the creative activity. So it's something that allows you to be creative. So whatever you're liking or whatever comes from you, you have creative leeway to come up with anything at all during your improvisation. Um, it combines performance with communication of emotions, instrumental technique, and response to other musicians. So I want to stay there a little bit and I want to look at those three key things there. We want to look at one, emotion, we want to look at technique, and we want to look at response or awareness. All right. So the first thing is, let's look at emotion. So when I think of emotion, we all have some emotion, whether we're happy or we're sad or we're angry or we're frightened or we're disgusted. All of those emotions, music is a way in which we bring out all the things that we're feeling in with a melody. From back in the days, even when the slaves used to come up with those folk songs and all of those things. um Hold on, they're saying that the video feed is gone. You guys are hearing me, right? No video. All right, better. Great. All right, so yeah, so we're looking at emotions. So when it comes on to a piece of music, you hear a song, or let's say you're in a setting where you're playing a song and you're accompanying a musician or you're accompanying a singer and you're with four other musicians, um and you're there playing. The first thing you want to do is understand what the song is trying to say. What emotion is the song happy? And we normally associate that with the key be with the song being in a major key. If you're being happy, what's the song bring? Or it's more laid back and it's more um dark, or it's sad, a more minor tonality. So based on that, then that is one of the main things in which will lead you to improvising effectively. Um, so when you understand what the emotions are of the song, then you can start to become effective. The next thing is when you look at when the technique. So everybody have some technique, and to be the to be more effective, you have to know a lot of things. I mean, the more you know, the better you are at whatever you do. So let's say you're a beginner, you're probably intermediate, you're not advanced. Um, your scope of improvising would be less than somebody who is advanced or know a lot more things. And when we talk about technique, we're talking about scales and we're talking about modes and all of those things. And just to look at those things for a second, when we're talking about technique, a couple people will know this, but for me, what I try to do is first understand the scales and the modes. So I'm sure probably people probably hear about this already. What are the modes? So in well, I can say from my perspective, some of the main things I try to understand, everybody must know their major scale. But they must know their minor scale. Blue scale is very important. Melodic minor scale. You look at the pentatonic, both major and minor, and then you look at the modes, and basically we know that there are basically 7 modes. And this is just in relation to you're let's say you're in the key of um let's say we're in the key of G, and from this key there are, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 back to the one, right? Or the 8. So that means, sorry, change that tone. So that means that this first note, is called the Aeonian scale or the Aeonian mode. Then second you have the Dorian, and the Aeonian is literally just the major scale. So once you know the major scale, you already know the Aeonian scale. Then you probably want to get a little more advanced, and you want to look at Dorian, which is on the second. So basically, these modes are used when let's say you're advanced and you're playing, or you're probably intermediate or in between intermediate and advanced, and you're playing a song, and when the song moves from the 1 to the 2, and they want to improvise something from the 1, and you're going to the 2, so you want to improvise something on the 2, then you can introduce the Dorian mode. So, and then you have another mode for the 3 and the 4 and the 5. So all of those things, you can, once you know all of these modes and all of these scales, you can better apply them to how you improvise any piece of music. And I mean, for me, I started out by I listened to a track, or I probably I loop something, and I have that looping. And for example, this thing now record. All right, so that progression is going on, right? And you can start out with the major scale. All of those things, all right? So that's 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 the major scale. So you have the same progression going on. All right, so it'll go on same place. All right, cool. I want to try another scale you introduce the major pentatonic scale. So it's as simple as that. It's as simple as You can start easy, three note progression, and you can practice all of the scales or as much that apply. You can look at the modes. So I would encourage, like if you want to improve, a lot of people probably want to improve how their soul or how they improvise. And you listen to a lot of great musicians and you say, Channel Star, how them play this over that? It's just over time, after knowing all of these scales and modes, you start to combine them. And once you start to combine them, then improvisation takes place. I mean, you can now listen to a piece of music or play along with a piece of music, and you can now bring your own taste to it. Because what I'm hearing so many different things, because I know my major scale, I know my minor scale, I know melodic minor, and so you have so many other skills out there, because these are just from um western music. You have eastern music and all of the skills that they have over there. So yeah, so we said one, we said emotions, we said two, technique, and the third thing that I want to touch on is our response, or our awareness. And this is very important, because at no point in time do you want to be somewhere different than where the rest of the band is. I mean, it make you look unprofessional. It make you look like um everybody I look up and you're like, what is this person doing? Yeah, you don't want that. So, you want to learn how to be effective in what you do, what you play. So you try to be aware with what is going on. I mean, I've been listening. I've been watching for a couple weeks. I mean, uh, and I think 90 or everybody who plays a tuned instrument would know or would have mentioned that knowing the melody of whatever you're working on is vital to how you play and how you improvise. It still applies to improvisation. Um, because you don't want to play Mary Had a Little Lamb and yeah, play something different than yeah, play Jack and Jill Went Up the Hill. Yeah, I mean, you're on two different pages. So you want to know what you're playing. You want to be aware with where the musicians are going with the song. I mean, where the singer is going. And I mean, this is something that develops over time. But this is just one of the things that are important to how you improvise a piece of music. Um, you have to you have to, again, emotions vital. I mean, I can play something here now. And from that point, it feel, feel happy, it feel a little sad, it feel a little, a little droopy, rather than if I play. Yeah, so it's different things. So the emotion, what I mean, I wouldn't solo over something like this the same way as I'd solo over something like this. I mean, it's two different approaches. So again, you can realize that based on what you're playing or what you're working on or what you're listening to, knowing where the song is going, the emotions, knowing your techniques, and being aware or responsive to what is going on with the other band members, it's vital in the art of improvisation. And yeah, that's my few words to you guys. That's my presentation on the art of improvisation.
All right, Levoy.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent presentation, bro. I'm sure all the persons on the platforms they have learned a lot from that presentation. Well executed. All
Uh-huh.
right. At
Uh-huh.
this time, we are going into our Q&A. All right. So the persons on YouTube, I'm going to ask you please to type your questions in the chat, and also the person on Zoom, you know how we do it. Please indicate by putting the icon up, and then we will proceed from there. Persons on Zoom.
While everybody thinks of their question, I think I can, just play a little thing for them.
Yes, man.
Just something that came to mind today that, I just want to just show us, or just so I have an idea about, things like my style, or how is it that or how it is that I improvise. Yeah, so just take a listen, guys. Yeah. Give me a second there.
You are listening to Levoy Paul on the Sounds of the Music Hacks Network. All right, guys, let's have the questions. All right. All right, Levoy, when you're on stage playing, what exactly goes through your mind? What are you thinking of?
Not playing anything wrong.
Okay.
I mean, I try to think ahead. So, once I know this, I'm gonna say, yeah, man. But if there's like a syncopation coming up, I say, oh, that go again. I say, all right. I'm gonna try to work that out before. So, I mean, but then again, it depends on the type of show. I mean, if it's something that I'm comfortable with, if it's a show that, well rehearsed and, we're ready, you just think about enjoying the show, and, then time that I can think about experimenting, what can I play now to make the song even nicer? So, but if it's a song that, I probably not, may not know so well, I'm thinking about playing what I know to the best of my ability. So, yeah.
Awesome. The guys on YouTube, they're loving the presentation, bro. All right. I don't know if you can see the YouTube chat, but it's on a blaze over there.
Oh, wow. Big up on yourself, everybody. I can't see it. No, do I?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a question from Bindi.
Okay, man.
Bindi's asking, how did you stay in tune when bend, or how do you stay in tune when bending a string?
Wow. Been you teach me this. Just kidding. I mean, wow. I don't know, well, when I just started out, I realized that the condition of the guitar, if it's not right, then things are go out at you. Like probably sometimes I'll probably play something like uh and I use the whammy bar here, and by me come back and play that same thing again, the guitar gone out of tune. So it's basically something that I learned, just to ensure that the intonation and all of that nice and it's right. And I guess once the guitar is in a good condition, I mean, it stays. And again, I think it's how everybody have a different bending technique. So I'm not sure if my technique helps that. So yeah, but I don't have any tuning problems when I bend the notes. Brandon can probably link me off the ear and give him some pointers.
All right, I realize that you have an acoustic um, on the stand there.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you much into acoustic playing?
I've been trying to develop it. Um, one of the things I really fell in love with was finger style guitar. I'm not sure I have the patience yet to learn it, but it's something that I hope to learn. But the thing is, well, acoustic guitars in general, the tones that they give just very warm and nice, and it just make everything sound good. So, um, yeah, that's why I have it here. In a lot of the things that I play now, I try to incorporate acoustic in it in some way, because it kind of lifts the tonality of the song and the sound in general. So yeah, another one of the babies right there.
Awesome. All right, this is a question from
I said,
Mark Anthony Reed.
yeah, ma, big up yourself.
Yes, pick up yourself, Mark. So Mark is saying he said he got here late, but he's asking you, um, what is your approach when playing or recording CCM songs?
Wow. Hmm. All right. So one of the main things are, I mean, just listening to a whole lot of CCM music, they normally follow a pattern they normally have a phrase that stands out in the song. So the first thing I normally try to do is, if it's a song that I'm creating, I try to think about what phrase can I come up with that, what is something that I can come up with um that can, you know, replicate all of these contemporary songs that we listen to. Um, and I hope everybody know what CCM means. It's contemporary Christian music. um, so a lot of so they normally have like we hear a lot of those songs these days, Bethel and Elevation and Planet Shakers, all of those people. When you hear their songs, they have a line and they're very guitar dominant. So I try to come up with a phrase that will stand out in the song. Um, I'm still working now on different tones. I basically worked. Well, I've found things recently that will even enhance that even more, because every day you learn something new. But how they play the acoustics, the main strum and the counter strum and all of these things. So I just try to replicate, because as I was saying before, Mark probably wasn't here, is from listening a lot, I try to replicate things that I listen. So from listening to a lot of CCM, I just try to, if I hear a song, I try to come up with something like that. And I think one of my favorite songs that I've ever worked on, where I think I got that really well, was um if people listen, Rhoda Isabella, I think I got it really right with this song named Silent River. Um, what? Yes, Daniel, I see you. I see your question and answer you soon. Silent River, I think that's one of the best songs I've ever played. Um, yeah. So I see Daniel asking. I guess I can go ahead and answer it. Chris.
Yeah, man, go right on and
Um,
answer.
Daniel asked what kind of pedal I use. All right. So currently I'm using a GT10. I'm not using any of the stock sounds. So what I did was I built or created my own sounds. And I'm using a TC electronic. Well, I have a couple of stomp boxes that I also attach to the GT10 to give it a warmer tone. So yeah, tonight I'm just using a Joyo British Sound pedal and a TC Electronics distortion pedal and the GT10 with my created sounds, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Matthew Freighter on YouTube. He wants to know, how do you musically combine the different modes and scales to fit a certain type of genre of
Uh
music?
yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. So based on you get to learn when you learn about modes and scales. Um, you play each scale and each mode depending on where you are in the song. So um, not every mode or every scale will work in every song, obviously, because it depends on what the progression is. So as the progression of the song changes, it will it will you'll need a different scale or a different um mode. But I think now I'm at the place where you stop internalizing it. So when I listen to a piece of music or I'm playing a piece of music, I don't sit down and say, John start, all right, I'm gonna play Dorian right this and then I'm gonna play the pentatonic, and then I'm gonna come back and I play the Lydian right this and then we can play the mixer Lydian. Yeah, I don't do that. So I guess from learning the scales and the modes before, it comes to a point where you know them, so you just apply them. I mean, I mentioned before that it comes from emotions. What is it that I'm feeling? The song I play. Um, nice. All right, cool. Once I know the key of the song, the song I'll go on. So the first we know is this is in a minor key. So we in G minor right here. So the pentatonic I go work. And then we got in something else right there. So and that's a different scale. But we're in the minor key. But I won't go and play G major right here. So I mean, in some cases it could work. I mean, depending on what you're trying to bring out in the music. But in a case like this, I want to keep the same minor tonality with everything that I play. So yeah, I mean, there is no real way to answer it. I mean, I don't sit down and think, say, all right, I'm gonna play this. No, all right, I'm gonna play. Yeah, I mean, it's just based on what I'm feeling at the time. So a lot of what I play personally is what I'm feeling and what the song is saying to me. I'm not sure if that answers the question. It was Michael, Matthew. Yeah.
All right. What effects do you use to achieve a sweet reggae streak?
All right. Strict. All right, we're looking at strict. So, Um, well, right now, I mean, I think for you have different tones that you want to achieve. I mean, for some songs, like probably like some of the more retro reggae, you probably want to go like a clean guitar, and you bring down your pickup, you go to the neck, and so it give it that whole dirty feel. But mainly, what I use, I'm using a combine a phaser and a wah, and and with a little EQ, and you can. So if you listen closely, you can a little phaser thing in it. Yeah. So right. So I use a phaser and a wah. But um a lot of the string that you play sometimes it has nothing to do with your tone. I mean, it's how you strict your aggression to the strings and all of those things. So only part those things taking place, but I hope I answer the question with the effects. Yeah.
All right. I'm still waiting on some more questions from YouTube and Zoom. All right. I'm not a guitarist, Levoy, but I have a great guitarist. Well, two great guitarists in my band.
Mm-hmm.
One is very experienced with the Les Paul and the Strat. What's the difference between that of a Les Paul and the Strat?
All right. um. Well, when I started out with a Epiphone. And, um. The Epiphone is still a branch of the whole Gibson thing, but well, my knowledge is it gives because of the pickups. If you know the different types of pickups, the Les Paul and those things normally have the humbucker pickups. So that now gives you a warmer tone, a more low range. If you're into frequencies, so it gives you more low range on the spectrum. But when it comes on to Strat now, Strat, well, the people refer to Strat biting, so it gives you that I think it gives you a little more mid range. Um, but personally, I think the Strat gives versatility, because um my guitar now I change out and put and install a humbucker pickup, so my guitar wouldn't be a great judge of an actual Strat, but um this I in my opinion, I think the Strat is a little bit more versatile. But then it goes to what it is that you're trying to achieve. I mean, if I'm playing, I always think that like Les Paul and those things are better for jazz, because the tone that you want to get from the guitar, and when it comes down to pop or gospel and those other genres, people normally go to a Strat. So both are good. Um, both are great actually. But it depends on what the tone is that you're going for, and the sound that you want to
Cool.
bring. Yeah. I
All right, we
see
have two more
chat.
questions hiding in the chat here.
Yeah.
All right, from Julian Evans. Is there ever a point when an improv throws off the set?
Wow. Yeah, man, you can OD, man. You can definitely OD, and everybody just look over upon you and say, "Yo, brother, just build now." No? um, I have been there in the past, but I guess as the more mature you get, the more you learn. But yeah, man, Jody, definitely. Yeah, man, can dash with people, man. I'll sing a look around for you and like, what the hell are you playing? Yeah, them thing they go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there was another question concerning the effects pedal. You already answered the pedal that you use,
Mm-hmm.
but which one would you recommend for a beginner?
Wow. Wow. Um, hmm. If you're a beginner, start with a multi effects pedal. Um, so a lot of people have been using stump boxes or stump boxes. You know, uh, stump boxes normally come with one sound. So if you want to replicate like a rock and a distortion tone with like a reverb and you have to get three different stump boxes to replicate that. But to start out with the multi effects, just get a multi effects pedal. Um, Start out there. I mean, once it have a volume pedal um and a couple sounds, I mean, you're good to go.
All right. Have you ever experimented with tuning below the 440 hertz?
No, no. Me never
Okay.
try that yet, Star.
Because I, I know some guitarists are into the thing of tuning down.
I've never tried that. I've never thought about it. Maybe it would be interesting, but I don't think that's for me right now. I mean, maybe later down, in my maturity, I might try that. But I'll stick to the 440 for now. You want everything to be crisp. I mean, if the keyboard is play a C and I play a C, I want to hear one sound. I don't want to hear a little in between thing I go on. People are cringe, especially if I work with people like Chris Wright who hear everything. Yeah. So, um, yeah, I haven't yet experimented with that. Maybe I give it a try one day. I make you know how it goes, Chris.
Okay, cool, Levoy. In terms of ear training for guitarists, how would you address that?
Ear training. I mean, wow. Ear training. Is this a question online? Because I don't want to know ear training in response to what aspect, as in response to playing a song,
Ear
or
training in general.
all right, in general. All right, cool. That we might go touch both of them. All right. So I mean, when I just started out, um, yeah, I think them they come with my guitar came with a, like a blow thing where the name of the string on them, if you blow them, you hear they start the E and the B and the G. So when I just started out, what I tried to do was I tried to know the sound of each of my strings. Like if I listen to E string, I supposed to know that's a E. So then um when it comes down to tuning my instrument, then I can know that, all right, cool, it's not really in tune. And I mean, it's something that you learn over time, because some there was a time when I couldn't realize when my guitar out of tune, and other people are saying, yo, Burton, I hear your guitar out of tune. Um, and moving from that, so let me go over that again. So learn the sounds of your strings when they are tuned. I mean, having some keyboard knowledge is always good as well. Um, to know what the keys sound like. I mean, I guess majority of us probably have relative pitch. So we can associate when we hear things. Um, and when it comes down to ear training with music, um, ear training with music is not something that comes overnight. So you have people who can listen to a song and they aren't hearing some elements that another person will hear. Somebody can say, yo, you not hear that with the guitar playing, man say, what that? Me not hear no guitar playing nothing. Yeah. So when it comes on to that, I guess it has to do with when I let me use myself as an example. When I am listening to a piece of music that I'm learning and guitar is in it already. um I sometimes I don't know if it's subconscious, but it's like I can zone in on just the guitars, so I can hear what the guitars are playing. Like in my head, all the other instruments are very low, and I am just hearing just the guitars, and I can hear them. Say, all right, cool. This is what the guitars are playing. So I guess you can try that. Uh, if anybody has have those difficulties, I mean, just try listening to, just put in some earphones, just try listening to a piece of music and try to hear each element of the music individually. So listen to what the lead singer is singing, all right? Listen to the backgrounds. Can you differentiate the different parts that are going on in the background? The melody, the altos, the tenors. Can you hear what the keyboards are playing? Is there another key element, like is there a pad? Are there strings? Is there percussion? Is there a drum? Can you hear the kick? Can you hear the snare? Can you hear the hi-hat? All of those things. Can you hear the bass? And can you hear the guitars? And I mean, the more complex the piece of music, the more elements that there are to listen. So you can start there, listening to each element, and as soon as you can differentiate, then you realize that your ears will become a lot more trained and you can hear a lot more things.
Okay, cool. There's a question from Joshua
Mm-hmm.
Rainford. Do you have any exercises or patterns you use when practicing technique? Maybe a pattern or solo you play to work on alternate picking or getting your bends to keep in tune. Is there
Uh,
a technique you're working on now?
no, no. Um, with regards to that, I'm not working on any of those things. No, I mean, I'm working on some different things now. But what I used to do before is I would start at the on the sixth string on the guitar, and I'll just play chromatic with my four fingers. So I'll do something like this, and then so I'd ascend and then descend. So um first I try with just down strokes, and then I'll try with up strokes, and then you can do the alternate picking, so down up, down up, down up, down, so on and so forth. um when it comes down to bending, uh I don't think this is something that I practiced really, but just playing over time, um it's just something that I learned. So depends on what I'm trying to achieve. Do I want a whole, so do I want to move from here to here, or do I want to move from here to here? So that's the tone, or I want from here to here. So all of those things, so with regards to where you want to go, then you try and replicate that sound by bending. And I mean, I personally don't try to bend past a tone. I'm afraid my guitar strings break. So between and a tone, and yeah. So that's what I do. Or if I want to go the opposite direction, yeah. So you have some people bending up, some people bend down. So yeah, I guess it's what works for you. I mean, guitar playing isn't set in stone. I mean, there is there is no there is no rule that says you must bend this way, you must play this way. I mean, it depends on what works for you and what you're trying to achieve. And I mean, you can always start out knowing the basics, and as you progress, you will learn how to fix what it is that you didn't know how to do correctly. So just learn what you can, and just always try to learn. I mean, the possibilities are endless out there. So many things to learn. I mean, you can sit down probably for the next 20 years and you still learn something new every day. So, yeah.
Awesome. We're going to take one final question from YouTube.
Okay.
Marlon Senior is saying, I have difficulty with guitarists and volume on stage. How do you control your volume level so well?
Oh, boy. Inside joke. Inside joke. Marlon, big up yourself. um, how do I control my volume so well? I don't think I do. I don't think I control my volume well. I mean, once I just want to be comfortable. I want to hear myself. I want to hear everybody else. So once me comfortable, I mean, I try to be appreciative of everybody else. But the other thing that you don't want is you don't want not hear yourself and then you play something wrong. And the same musicians who say you're too loud, look over by you and ask you what you're playing. So you better hear what you're saying, and you better hear what you're playing. But all right, fun and joke aside, everybody. I mean, to really answer your question, Marlon, I guess the key is being appreciative of everybody. So just once you're hearing yourself and hearing everybody else, I mean, and you're not overpouring, especially the vocalists, because vocalists always have a problem with musicians. So yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm still working on, but yeah, try to be appreciative of everybody.
Okay, Levoy,
Yeah.
let me thank you on the behalf of the Music Hacks Network team. Sir, this has been an extremely well done presentation.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Right, you have represented the guitar community very well.
Yeah, I hope I did. I have a lot of people to answer to after this.
All right. Definitely, I am expecting to see you back further in the year
Definitely.
as the show progresses.
Yeah, man. I hope at some point, we can even have a jam session. I mean, but let's
Yes,
see what
man. Right. We are definitely looking into the compatibility of Zoom and the instruments that musicians use. It's quite a tedious task to set up this thing.
definitely.
All right, but I think Zoom is getting better
Yeah,
where that is concerned. All right, so that will definitely be in the mix for the future. All right. All right, so respect, Sir Levoy. Thanks for your humility. You could have said no, but you never hesitated to accept the invitation, and I would like to thank you.
yeah, man. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, looking forward to this every week. So big up on yourself. Thank you guys for watching. It's a privilege for you guys staying at this late hour. It's after 10 now. So yeah, you guys for everything. And I'll see you another time.
Let me thank all the persons who joined us on YouTube. It was a pleasure broadcasting this presentation to you guys. If you're new, I'm going to ask you, please leave a subscription. Please subscribe to this channel. Leave a like and comment. All right, that will help us greatly. All right, so see you soon.